Have you ever wondered why some people achieve greatness?
Yes, here comes Mike!
And others are just average? You have people like Simone Biles, who can jump 12 feet in the air. And then me, who I guess can make a semi-decent omelet? And look, I get it, genetics or something, but I've always wanted to be one of the greats. So I decided to try something. For the next few days, I will step into the lives of 3 of my idols, following their intense daily routines to understand how they set themselves up for success. I'm hoping after a few days in their shoes, I can come out better in all areas of my life. But first, a quick warning. This was one of the hardest things I have ever done.
This hurts.
And legally, I don't recommend you try it. But it did teach me 3 massive lessons on achieving greatness. And if you are feeling stuck in your life, this might just be the change that you are looking for. And so I packed my bags and traveled to the middle of the desert for the first routine belonging to the toughest man on the planet. It's almost 5 a.m. and I have to go run 20 miles, which is simply the start of David Goggins' insane daily routine. Who is David Goggins?
The hardest motherfucker on planet Earth.
He's a former Navy SEAL turned ultra endurance athlete who has survived 3 hell weeks, broken the world record for the most pull-ups in a 24-hour period, and run over 60 ultra marathons. Goggins is known for being a no-nonsense, insane human being.
My diet, breakfast run, lunch run, dinner run, snack run!
And his routine is no different.
Every morning starts with a run. And that's because that's the one thing I hate to do more than anything in the world.
How long's the run?
Anywhere from about 1:30 to 2 hours, I'll run every day.
I definitely have some concerns. It's pitch black out right now, raining. I'm currently in the middle of nowhere in the desert. We've got rattlesnakes. Oh, and I haven't gone for a run in like 2 years. But I did the most David Goggins thing I could think of.
I'm back, motherfucker! I'm back!
And called
19! Oh, big son! Yeah!
my mom to run with me. So this might be one of the most anti-David Goggins things I've ever done, but my mom is an insane runner, so if anyone can help me run for 20 miles with 0 training, it's probably her.
Let's go, we're burning daylight. You'd be running already.
Okay, I got it. Oh my gosh, okay. It's pitch black out here right now, pouring rain, the ground is flooded. Any thoughts from you?
Oh God.
This is exactly what Goggins would be doing right now. You know, 2 years ago, I ran a marathon. I actually met Goggins, but that felt like a lifetime ago, and I was in way, way better shape, so this is not going to be easy.
If I'm being honest, these last few months have been a struggle. I've been feeling really behind in a lot of areas. I've gotten out of shape, and I've just been feeling disappointed with myself. So to start this project, I wanted to pick someone whose routine would challenge me physically.
1 mile in, spirits have definitely taken a turn. There have been better starts to very many runs.
The hope is that Goggins' routine can finally shake me out of this rut. But things were not off to the best start.
It's unfortunate, but at about 2.5 miles, we had to call for evac. The roads were literally just giant puddles. It was completely flooding. Literally soaked, head to toe. The plan now is to wait it out until the sun comes up and we can finish our miles. Don't tell Goggins, but I'm super glad we had to tap out for a second. I was dying out there. Oh my God. Here we go.
Round 2.
Round 2.
Added a few layers.
My legs are already hurting. Oh, this is painful.
Look, there's a reason every running expert tells you to start with a very short run. And I was about to learn it the hard way.
4 miles in, everything hurts. I'm definitely feeling the effects of not being a runner. Mom took off. I was running too slow. She's way up there. All I want to do is stop.
But there's a Goggins philosophy called the 40% rule.
Which basically means that when you think you're at your capacity,
You're actually only at 40% of your true potential. And as my entire body started deteriorating,
Oh, this hurts. There's still so much left.
I just kept reminding myself of this. Our brains are trying to protect us from harm. So they send signals to quit way quicker than our bodies can handle.
I'm not doing so hot.
We can do hard things.
Oh my gosh.
Keep moving.
Just keep
One foot
moving.
in front of the
Okay.
other.
By willingly pushing past this point, one step at a time, 1 mile at a time, you will find that you are capable of way more.
6 miles in. We're getting a little bit of a second wind over here. Mom slowed down for me, so the gang is back. And it's crazy because I'm at 6 miles, dying. This guy's running 20 miles.
At this point, nearly 90 minutes in, I realized I had a long way to go before I was putting up Goggins' numbers.
7 miles in. Oh, I've never been in so much pain.
So our new goal was simply to finish a 2-hour run.
Oh, come on. Oh, my legs.
But here's the funny thing. As you get closer to achieving your goal,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So close.
you really start to find that extra 60% Goggins talks about.
Keep around the corner. The last 100 yards. Come on. Come on.
And how someone like me, with literally no running training, can dig deep and run nearly 8 miles.
Oh, we did it.
We did it.
Oh my gosh.
Do we get to rest now?
Unfortunately, this was just the start of Goggins' routine. After a quick shower, a high-protein breakfast, and a goodbye to Mom, Goggins immediately heads to the gym for workout number 2, and where I would start to realize the first big lesson on greatness. Unfortunately, I don't have a gym, so instead, we're gonna do a Goggins body weight workout, which he calls nickels and dimes.
How it works is this. I come in, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, right back to pull-ups, right back down to push-ups.
Back and forth for about 60 minutes. Goggins does 600 pull-ups and about 1,200 push-ups in 1 hour. My goal is to try to do half of that.
But I actually feel pretty good about this workout. I've been lifting a lot lately, so this should definitely be easier than running.
I'm like 10 minutes in and I've already been unable to finish a full set of pull-ups. I have no idea how Goggins does 2 sets every minute. But I'm not gonna quit. Even if that means I do less reps, I'm still gonna do the full 60 minutes no matter what.
This is one of the reasons Goggins has been such an inspiration to me. When he has a goal, he stops at nothing to achieve it. Like when he decided to become a Navy SEAL, he was severely overweight and needed to lose over 100 pounds just to qualify for training. This is a feat that would be impossible for most, but Goggins spent something like 10 hours a day working out, and after just 3 months, he dropped 106 pounds. Meanwhile, me, on the other hand, yeah, not going great.
I feel terrible, but we have about 18 minutes left. I'm just gonna try to do as many sets as I can, hopefully without throwing up again, and we'll get to wherever we get to.
I want to be more like Goggins, but I often find myself changing my goals or trying to make things easier so I feel accomplished.
I could hear myself being like, oh, just do 45 minutes. Oh, just get to 200 push-ups. And it's always what I do. I try to negotiate my goals instead of just sticking with what I said I was gonna do. Come on, 3 push-ups, come on.
That was definitely humbling. I did a total of 31 sets. I thought I was in pretty good shape, but that was a sad performance. And even though I kept moving through his routine, I could feel myself wanting to give up at every point. This is crazy. I already ran today, I already did a full upper body workout, and now I have to cycle for an hour. But it wasn't until this 3rd workout that I would meet my hardest challenge yet. So in a crazy turn of events, my bike completely broke while I was riding it. I don't even understand what happened. But I don't want to give up on the Goggins routine so close to the end. And there is a 33-degree cold plunge outside. I figured 5 minutes in a freezing cold tub would be on Goggins' list of approved punishment. Oh, this is cold. This whole day, I've just realized that a lot of Gagan's life is just about honoring the things you say you're gonna do. And by continuously showing up with the little things, something like this. I'm gonna bike an hour, and even when the bike breaks, I'm gonna find something else to keep pushing me. It's these little moments that start to create a version of you that knows that you can do hard things. Spending an entire day in Gagan's shoes, I realized that you can either have excuses or results. I want to be someone who continues to push myself. I want to be someone who doesn't make excuses. And I just freaking did it, baby! The more you push past that voice in your head telling you no, the more you will achieve. And I think Gagan's is proof that we are capable of way more than we realize.
It's 9:30 p.m. and I have officially made it through David Gagan's routine.
It feels like every cell in my body hurts right now. I did over 5 hours of movement today and burned almost 4,000 calories.
Hopefully, tomorrow's routine is a little bit easier. It is so early right now. I have no idea how someone can wake up at this time. But today, we are doing the Dalai Lama's insane routine for mental clarity, which starts with a 3 a.m. wake-up call and straight into 2 hours of meditation. Definitely tired. My whole body hurts after yesterday. This is definitely not gonna feel good. Who wakes up at 3 a.m.? This is just insane. But I have this pretty cool meditation bench, which should hopefully keep me upright and keep me awake, as long as my body is not too destroyed from yesterday. Okay, here we go.
Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. That is a quote from the 14th Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of the Tibetan people, who's known for his playful and childlike nature in spite of years of struggle. In 1959, amongst escalating conflicts with China, the Dalai Lama was ousted from his Tibetan home and escaped to India, where he's lived most of his life in exile. But still, he's been a beacon for human rights and peaceful resolution of conflict, which awarded him one of the world's greatest honors, the Nobel Peace Prize. The Dalai Lama has been a huge influence on me, and when I got into meditation 10 years ago, it was his teachings that helped me deal with some really difficult emotions.
Since we are dealing with emotions, best method to deal with that is so-called meditation. Not for next life, not for heaven, but is it for day-to-day's well-being.
My hope is to understand how the Dalai Lama can enjoy and live in the present moment, even when life can be a struggle. And so far, things were off to a pretty good start until
I moved to the bench for back support, and I definitely dozed off for a decent chunk of that.
Luckily, I had hours of meditation ahead of me, but now at 5 a.m., the Dalai Lama will go for a short walk.
This is a way more pleasant start to the morning than yesterday.
Followed by a traditional Tibetan breakfast. We have bread with preserves, a little bit of tea, and then a traditional Tibetan dish called tsampa, which is basically like Tibetan porridge. No, it's not very good. Before returning for another set of meditation and prayers. This one lasting for 3 hours. But I'm also going to do something called prostrations, a specific series of physical movements meant to help one surrender their ego and cultivate humility. Devout practitioners are expected to do 100,000 of these as part of their early practice, and will often perform anywhere from 3 to 108 prostrations per day. Honestly, this is almost harder than David Gagan's routine. I just finished doing 50 prostrations, but it's only been an hour, which means I have another 2 hours of meditation left just in this block. The slow nature of this routine is just making it feel like time is crawling. But I am starting to see a pattern. Even though Goggins and the Dalai Lama could not be more different, they are similarly dedicated to their field, each spending a large majority of their time focused on the one thing that matters most. I've been awake for about 7 hours now, and I've been meditating for around 5 of them. I don't know if I'm feeling any deep insights, but I do feel way more calm. You know, this is the longest I've been awake without checking my phone. I haven't had any coffee. I feel like the stress levels in my body have just come down a lot. I'm curious to see how that progresses over the rest of the day. And after 2.5 hours of studying Buddhist texts, the Dalai Lama sits down for lunch, which is his last meal of the day. Which is nice for him, but he didn't pretend to be David Goggins yesterday. Before transitioning into several hours of working, doing interviews, talking to audiences. And as my day progressed, what I was starting to feel is the Dalai Lama's belief on attaining true happiness, and the second big lesson on greatness. The Dalai Lama has held his role since he was 2 years old. His entire life has been dedicated to being a monk, which means limited pleasures, no romantic relationships, no alcohol, no possessions. And yet, he's one of the most content people you will ever see.
Ultimate source of happiness is within ourselves, not money, not power. Some of my friends may be billionaire, very rich, but as a person, very unhappy person. So material value will not bring real inner joyfulness.
When I think about my life, inner peace is something I want more than anything. But I often find myself doing the opposite of that. Waking up and checking my phone, comparing myself to other people, wanting more and more and more. Basically striving externally to fill some hole in my life instead of going inward. Now, I don't want to go become a monk, but it does have me thinking about how I spend my time. I'm just trying to enjoy this because this is the Dalai Lama's dinner, and yeah, I'm definitely hungry. Luckily, I have another 2 hours of meditation and prayers to distract me. But I'm actually looking forward to this session. I'm realizing how important inward reflection is for me, but I probably do like 10 minutes of meditation a day, if that. You know, it's interesting. If there's something that you say is important to you, how much time do you actually give to it? Goggins works out for 6 hours a day. The Dalai Lama meditates for 7. They're investing a large majority of their time into what is important to them. For the most part, we all know the things that matter to us, but how much time are we actually spending on those activities? And how much of our time is going somewhere else? Because ultimately, in order to get results, you need to invest time in the right areas. Just finished my last meditation for the day, which puts us at just over 4 hours of seated meditation today. This routine was intense, but it's a little after 7, which is the Dalai Lama, and today, my bedtime. I feel like after the last 2 days, I earned this, and we just have one more routine tomorrow. Good morning. It's currently 11 a.m., which is when Pablo Picasso starts his routine for peak creativity. By this point yesterday, I had already been up for 8 hours, and today I am just starting my day, which feels like the opposite of what modern productivity preaches, but Picasso was something of a creative genius, so maybe this works. Here is a breakdown of Picasso's routine. From 11 to 2, he would eat, see friends, enjoy life. Starting the day off with a hot tub. I could definitely get used to this. Then at 2 p.m., he would lock himself in his studio for 8 hours, taking a short break at 10 p.m. for dinner before returning to work for another 4 hours. And like many tortured artists, a lot of those sessions would start with a little bit of wine. So you pretty much just spend the day painting and drinking. I don't know how this is a routine, but my reasoning for wanting to emulate Picasso is a bit complicated. A lot of accounts portray him as selfish. He was a little bit of an egomaniac, constantly in difficult relationships, and always looking for more and more recognition. But he was also clearly a creative genius who did over 50,000 paintings in his lifetime. He had this incredible ability to generate unique art decade after decade, constantly reinventing himself and his style. And while I don't want to be like him, his devotion to his craft is something I admire. All right, don't be too mean. This is probably the first painting I've done since I was a little kid. It's actually not that bad, especially considering I don't want to be a painter. But I do want to be a filmmaker. So I'm gonna use Picasso's framework to try and make a short film in the next 12 hours to see if his routine really allows for more creativity. The problem is I struggle with just creating. I spend way too much time trying to think out and perfect my ideas. It's this fear that things won't work out, that I'll be judged, that I'll fail. Because what stops a lot of people on the path to greatness is fear. Somewhere along the way, someone or something tells you you can't. So you stop trying to pursue new things, to get better, to become great. But someone like Picasso constantly took risks, refusing to be boxed into what people thought he could do. This is super different from anything I've ever made, but I had this idea for an inspirational film about life, and I've had this visual opening for a while where the video starts with me shaving my head. But I've also had a little bit of wine today, so I'm not exactly sure if this is a good idea. The truth is, deep down, we're all a little afraid of greatness, but you have to go for it. You have to try, because if Picasso taught me anything, it's that doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Oh my God, I cannot believe I just did that. This entire experience showed me that greatness requires unrelenting commitment to one thing. And for each of my idols, that was different. As for me, I don't know if I want to commit my life to one thing. I like having some balance. So I'm walking away with massive lessons on how to be more successful and a realization that maybe I don't need to be one of the greats. Maybe it's more enjoyable to just be pretty good. It's currently 3 a.m. I just finished this short film and Pablo Picasso's routine. And if you want to check out what I made from it, you can do that right here. Thanks for watching.